Howdy, folks. Welcome to Adventures in Alberon Courts of Everest. I'm Joe Treff, your DM this evening and most. And joining me are most, but not all, my friends. I froze for a second there. Matt, Vincent, Kara, Hannah, and Alana. We're missing Tina tonight.
No.
But Tina will hopefully be back with us, I think, next week.
Yay!
And we are going to play some D&D tonight. But before we do, a couple quick announcements. First of all, we played Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign last night. We have delved into the Pallades Rock Assemblage number 12, the backstory of one Echo that is played by Kara, and that was a lot of fun, just some good, lighthearted corporate shenanigans.
Yeah.
And so you can see those when they re-air at 12. I got two sounds going on right now, I just noticed. Sorry about that.
Spooky.
It's our theme song, but
It's literally
spooky.
spooky music and the Everest theme song.
They do
music
not
off.
compliment each other.
It sounded like some sort of distant banshee.
Yeah. 12 followed by this at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, YouTube at Alberon RPG. We also have an Instagram at Alberon RPG where you can see the different things that are on our encounter maps like this. You can also see probably from last night Chinese food because that's most of what we got pictures of. So, at Alberon RPG on Instagram. We have a whole bunch of different things that are coming up in the next couple of months. Next month, we are going to be having a two-part Humblewood Heart of Decau adventure that was run by Hannah. It's a two-part, just like I said. It is going to be taking place on Thursday and Friday, the 24th and 25th of October, when most of us are away at Ari's wedding. And so that is going to be taking place. It's very, very cute animal adventures, and we get up to some stuff, and you'll have to tune in to see what that is. And then and we're doing a follow-up to that as well.
Yeah, don't know when it'll run, but we're playing it soon.
Okay.
And Vincent and I are going to co-DM this one.
Ooh, fancy. Okay, cool.
There's too many players signed up. We wanted them all to play.
We can figure something out. But that is going to be in October. There is going to be in February a original Starfinder one-shot that was run by Olive called Ace of Roses. It is a game show where people are playing for love and an island and a boat and a lot of different things. And so you can see that on February 14th, 2025. And in between those things, we are playing a slew of different games. In December, we're going to be playing Axe, Wolf, and Woe, a one-shot set in Brenna's backstory. In January, we're going to be doing a Fallout series. In November, we are going to be playing and I keep forgetting, it's not perennial. Perennial means only it stops.
Annual. Just annual.
An annual, not one shot, I guess. A cereal. It's a cereal where we have it's a cook-off.
It's not
a fantasy
We're
cook-off.
making cereal.
Is it a one-yule?
I don't know what that means. That's a whole, okay. Anyways, you can see that in November. It's going to be our special Thanksgiving session, and that is going to be taking place, I said Lake Tarkana. I don't know if that's true because I looked last time and I wasn't sure. So somewhere in Alberon. And then those are all the things on the immediate horizon. 2025, sometime in January, there'll be an announcement for the rough kind of trajectory of one-shots for that year. I know there's going to be at least one that is going to be in Starfinder. There's going to be one that is set in Billy's backstory, and then 2 or 3 other things depending on how much I can get my life together. But that is all the announcements that I have, I believe. And so it is time for this week's session of Courts of Everest. Wandering Hearts.
Nobody
Last we played our D&D adventure that has nothing to do with what we were talking about while you were watching the Stinger.
So sorry.
You found yourselves on the receiving end of a visit from the Herald of Cernunnos, her and the Hunter. This orc, clad in tusked skull mask, expressed to you, Alina, that by pursuing the fiend within the tower of the frozen-throated dreadlord, you had gained an opportunity to earn a spot in the wild hunt, and something else long before you died to take your place among Cernunnos' fiercest champions. Hearn sent you through the Feywild, where you found yourselves in the Feydark, frozen over by the effects of the Cold One, the fiend who occupies the tower. You crossed a frozen cavern that thawed along Alina's satyr hoof falls and made your way inside, realizing that this Feywild analogy to what lay on your plane showed you hints at what was to come when you crossed back over. You passed floating shards of ice, a statue of Hearn made from the same material, and entered through a long, narrow hallway obscured by a silent blizzard that limited visibility. You peered into a chamber with raised troughs of opaque, icy water and an unreadable plaque. It also had a glass charm that floated in the air, ringing delicately like glasses clinking together, and Alina felt, through their connection to the hunt, that you could cross over by touching this charm, or one like it. You saw a space that you could not pass through, but which might hint at a space beyond on the material plane, and then headed across the hall to a long hallway of frozen tapestries, Ori's arch nemesis, into a stairwell that went both up and down, and a similar twinkling sound as the charm that you had found before came from both directions as well. You traveled down at first, and found a room within a room within a room that was ringed with dozens of snowmen, with 3 large ones in the distant left wall that appeared to frown. There was also a massive frozen hand of ice that extended from the ground 15 feet into the air and held a floating dark energy that hinted at something sinister in the same place on the material plane. There was also a second of 3 charms, this one shaped like a skull. Finally, you went to the top level of this tower and found a frozen armory of icicle weapons and reasoned that changing things here would not change them in the material plane, as Minka shattered several. At the end of the armory was a small chamber of separate cells of treasure and a locked and barred chamber that housed another glowing mode of dark energy and the final hovering glass charm besides, this one in the shape of a sword. Given its shape, it was no surprise that Billy chose this one, as you all debated the merits of the various places that you might emerge, and as Billy impulsively touched it, all who could hear its music were transported to the material plane, where you found yourselves in the innermost chamber of a very real armory. And on the other side of a thick iron barred gate, there was a fiend who was temporarily shocked by your intrusion. They recovered and freed 2 petrified beasts within the cell that you were stuck in, promising freedom to the one that slayed you all. You launched an attack, with Valis face-stepping through the bars of the gate to smite the fiendish creature with powerful radiant blows. Alina misty-stepped through the bars herself and fired back through the bars while searching for a way to free her allies, which she eventually did by nearly crushing Rez, her familiar. Minka created a door of stone, escaping the wrath of the Balgura while being knocked unconscious once, and healing from the safety of a reagent room. Billy, you found yourselves faced with a 6-armed, 6-sword-wielding abomination that assailed you with a whirlwind of steel, but you fought back, Green Flameblade furiously bringing them near death before Ori stole your kill. Ori, fenced in, you tried to lose shots from the confines of the cell, but the Ruby Crescendo's fire damage did not strike true against the fiends, and you were forced to rely on thrown daggers as much as bolts. But ultimately, you found yourselves triumphant. Through the Balgura hurt several of you quite badly, though Minka saw to that with a final mass cure wounds, and you all find yourselves loose within the treasure room. Billy, you found a magical sword, though perhaps not the one that you had hoped. Valis, you found 10,000 pieces of actual no-strings-attached gold, totally fine, harmless, right there.
We're rich.
A true treasure.
No, that can't be real.
Ori took hold of a pair of valuable crowns, which are certainly real, and bespeckled with red and pink jewels. And as you decide to short rest on the top floor of the Temple of the Frozen-Throated Dreadlord, to catch your breaths, and Alina and Valis decide to keep watch, that is where we begin this evening. You can see that the space, just like it is before you on the battle cam, could you place yourselves where you're intending to rest?
Where's our...
I hate this already.
Wait, we're resting here?
We're short
Yeah,
rest.
short resting.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just need a minute to like
breathe, catch our breath.
This may
Slap me
be
against a wall. Alina is gonna,
10
has already
minutes?
said that she's gonna
However
keep a
long
watch.
you need to take a short rest. If it's an hour, we're doing an hour.
If y'all wanted to come inside my ring, we could do it in 10 minutes and have
Yeah,
Raz hold it and be invisible,
keep watch
but
at the door
at least
here.
one of
I
us.
guess not directly in front.
No,
but
not.
like,
Sorry. If you try to approach the door, Alina's gonna like push you
I'm
away.
keeping watch at
because-
the door.
No, I'm keeping watch at the door. You need to rest.
I'm okay.
Minka is found a wall and is sitting down, leaned against it. So flopped on the floor like that is pretty appropriate.
Okay.
Billy's cuddling with the sword.
Where?
I guess with the other swords.
Are you short resting and using that time to attune to this head? Okay.
Do I get to roll hit dice if I do, or no?
Yeah, you can still roll his
Okay.
dice.
I would like to attempt to attune to the cloak that we've just figured out is definitely magical, and we know it has enchantment properties.
So you go ahead and you begin to kind of like, you see Billy cuddling with the sword. And so you kind of pull this into your lap, and you get the sense almost immediately there is something incomplete to this. You will not be able to attune to this in its current state.
Fair enough.
What was your question?
Sorry, can one keep watch and short rest at the same time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, Alina's like, fine, you keep watch. I thought you wouldn't be able to heal if you did that, but I'm wrong.
Okay.
And study this thing.
A man can bandage his wounds
Yeah, as
and
long
look
as-
down a
As
hallway.
long as you're not doing, anything particularly strenuous,
Yeah.
you can kind of like take a short rest and do some kind of an activity. There are limits, of course.
Checkers.
In that case, Alina
can't do
is
that.
going to spend the time studying this crystal key thing.
Okay.
Have we taken it yet? No one's touched it yet, right?
Yeah, so
No.
I can't remember which one of you did, but you wrapped it
Billy
up and then kind of
wrapped
put
it in a
back.
cloak.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I
And
told
it's-
you it was one half of a lock
Right.
that will put it joining together should unlock something.
Right.
We are theorizing it is the big door.
Right. Right. Okay.
And Reza told you that was because pretty common practice is for fiends to take out their own hearts so that they don't have to have the feelings associated with them, and kind of separating them off and using that as a key of some sort.
And when I touched it with Mage Hand, I wanted to rip people apart, so I stopped touching it.
You just knew that they had hearts within them and that you could probably get at them.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well,
The one is all you.
are there any more
so-
magic things to cuddle with? Because otherwise, Alina's just gonna twiddle her thumbs.
They're kind of watching the hall here, and I'm trying to think. We went down in the Fey, like
Fey Dark?
interplanar level. The snowmen presumably were representative of something down in the physical realm. There were 3 larger ones, and they all had angry faces, and then there were a bunch of bodies pressed along all of the sides of the walls, right? Those ones seemed like piles, right? Piles of snowmen, so like snow piles. Just
The way
snow
that they were
piles?
positioned was like they weren't piled on top of each other so much. They were like, it was as if they had just been dropped and then frozen as they landed. So they kind of they looked like they were kind of bending or stooped, and they were all sort of pressed together in that there wasn't like space between them, but they weren't like jammed into each other. So when you had asked,
Like they're-
are these like Seleucine, it didn't feel like it.
Okay, it was more like people trying to get away from the 3 giant angry ones, or they were dropped in.
Make a
Like-
insight check at disadvantage
Trying to
since
figure
you're
out, like,
trying
what-
to insight a memory.
Wasn't it? Didn't we think that maybe it was like catacombs of some kind?
Yeah, well,
That was
that's
the
what.
guess.
Yeah,
The
that's
guess.
what. But like, I'm thinking about what we might be going into now that we're
Yeah.
in the actual world of it. At disadvantage.
There might be like
Or he's rolling
Stygian
to
stuff down
theorize.
there, which is cold, just like snowmen.
Whoa. Frog.
Crack that frog open.
Oh, okay, let's go. I think that's still a 25.
Very nice. Okay.
Let me double check.
So over the course of the short
24.
rest. Okay. Over the course of the. Oh, man, too bad. over the course of this short rest, you spend a lot of the time really kind of closing your eyes, and you don't trance as much as you sort of just focus on that memory. And thinking about that place, it wasn't like they were trying to run away from those. There was some that were standing almost directly opposite, and they weren't turning to run. They were all turned to face the inside of the room. Minka had mentioned catacombs, and that seems kind of similar. You wouldn't be able to see anything that was kind of tucked into the wall, and so as this is supposed to be a visual representation and kind of a warning to all of you, it strikes you that perhaps it's more to show you that there are things there, not necessarily that they are exactly like one-to-one in that position or kind of arranged like that,
Right.
but somewhere within the room within a room within a room that is in the basement.
I'm gonna roll hit die.
How's the rest going? Yeah.
So during the rest, I want to look for like, I know I found scissors, which is probably part of like a sewing kit. Is there like the rest of the kit around anywhere?
So are you keeping watch? Who's keeping
I'm not keeping.
Or he's keeping
I'm
Or is it-
short resting.
Okay, so make a perception check. If for your short rest, you absolutely can. Make an investigation check.
21.
Okay.
$11.
With an 11, you begin to look around and you look over and you can see like people have sort of positioned themselves in places where it's kind of hard to get to other things. There's not a lot that you can search that you haven't searched through already. You go over to the pile of ash where that fiend was, and you kick through and you do find a spool of thread, a single spool of unenchanted thread, and you get the sense that there's probably a sewing kit around here, but you cannot find it.
I thought you said I also found enchanted thread.
But you just find, but now you're finding one spool of thread, and with an 11, you don't find the rest of a sewing kit. You find
Okay.
you find evidence to tell you that you rolled too low.
But to be clear,
Yes.
I have a spool of enchanted thread.
From last session, yes.
Gotcha. Thank you.
And now also a spool of regular thread.
Correct. It's
Love
navy blue if that is important.
Regular navy blue thread.
Has our short rest completed without?
Anybody else have anything they want to do on the short rest?
Cuddling.
Yeah.
Sword cuddling.
So, Billy, as your short rest concludes and this hour elapses, it strikes you that this sword, it is magical.
Sweet.
It is a simple +1 sword.
Oh.
There's no kind of flash to it. There is nothing that, you look over at Alina, who is wearing the waistcoat of the Nightmare Rider, and you've seen them cast harm from this item, this unbelievably devastating spell. You look over at Valis. They have completely ignored the prayer beads for this short rest because they don't seem to be remembering them as much as they used to. But you've seen them literally hold the sun. This is a +1 sword. And I would say make a history check.
Is this a history roll to see how much I think Hirsum hates me?
That would be an insight check. You're welcome to make that if you would like instead.
It's a 5.
It's a 5. Probably good dwarvish steel.
Billy, like, kind of groans and just like, thanks, Hirsum.
Alina's like, I don't think that's the sword we're here for.
It better not be. And then she kind of like tries like out a few like swishes and flourishes, and it's not like really easy to use with a single hand. So she kind of like looks like, not for her anyway. She's not exactly beefy and bulky. So she sees Valis like
He's literally just doing this.
like for
He just
some
looks
reason
over at you and then looks back up.
like using like
That
for some
memory
reason
loss
using the
really
thread as a
changed
resistance
him.
band.
It's like you gotta go or something.
Okay. And she holds up the too big for her sword. It's like she's just like, so this is magic
Oh.
and it's heavy.
Okay. He's gonna hold up Blood Moon's Relief. Huh. Can I give you this back for that? Because I think that might be a little bit more my preferred weapon.
Oh, I mean, if it's not, I don't want to. And she's like holding the sword closer to you.
This is one of those-
She's just like,
That was your original sword, right?
Yeah. Thanks for letting me borrow it.
Aw.
It was better than the mundane sword I had before.
you're welcome.
That was the
And
cutest
so
way
for
to say
those
that
of you,
word.
anything else for the short rest?
If anyone can sew. Wait, I don't think any of us are magical seamstresses.
I
Would
can
be a
sew, but
seamstress
not
if
very
you.
well.
It's not finished. I think we killed her before she was done with it.
After the long rest, I can perhaps recall some ancestral knowledge and maybe how to sew, but I don't know if I can
Well,
finish if it's had an intended magical purpose.
Billy with her like patchwork cloak satchel and like ripped pants that she's just like kind of tacked together. It's like, you need someone to sew something.
well, the fiend lady was sewing, making this.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not finished, and it is not done. So it's just cool.
What's it missing?
It's. She just kind of holds it up, and I'm assuming there's like an area where it's like would have been finished weaving, but it's not, or is it just looks?
So it looks almost entirely finished. And as Minka holds it up for all of you, you can see as the little bits of light kind of protrude through it, it's almost opaque. There are elements to it at the edges of it that are just ever so slightly lacy, but it almost gives the impression of like a membrane-like finish. You can't see like veins or anything, but there is a bat-like element to it for sure. It is entirely finished. The only thing that is missing is a way to clasp it.
Oh. Hey, you remember?
I can stick
Yeah,
a button on that.
What was that?
I could stick a button on it. That's all you need.
But don't you have that
I
clasp?
might have
that
just the
clasp he
clasp
had?
sword. He pulls out the magic brooch. I know this was magical and missing a cloak, and that's a cloak that's missing a clasp. So
Does that work?
I don't know.
Will anything explode? Because I think I remember something about items and boom. Was that a thing, or am I just overthinking?
Has Billy heard of two
I would also like to know.
Items go boom.
Can I
An Arcana
think?
check,
Yeah,
yeah.
okay.
16?
18.
So Billy, I mean, there are items that can go together and go boom. You've never heard of a clasp and a cloak going together going boom. That seems pretty safe. For you, Alina, seems pretty safe. I mean, there are definitely things that can go. And I would say, actually, you do know there was an incident that happened near Thornholm that was not relating to the revelry, but that you responded to, or that the revelry responded to, not you specifically. But there was a bag of holding that had been pierced by something and had caused a pretty devastating result. There was like a large piece of the woods missing in a pretty spherical shape. And so like, yeah, that can happen. Usually it's pretty violent.
I mean, it's probably fine, but do we even have a way to like sew a clasp on right now? We might just have to wait no
well-
matter what.
I found this off of that fiend's, at least what's the dust that's left of her. I found this, and he holds up the magical spool of thread. This seems magical. Well, it is magical. And then in a pair of scissors. There might be a needle around. It's probably, I mean, if she was working on it, presumably the tools would be around.
I mean,
You just like take a fishbone and just go.
I'll look around. Wait, do I think that this magic thread is going to do the trick of like, because like presumably you can't just like stick one magic thing onto another. Like it would have to be like,
Why not?
I don't know, but does it sound like using magic thread to attach magic clasp to magic cloak has
That makes
merit?
a lot of sense.
Okay. Well, Alina's like,
That's why I keep.
well, if we
There's
can
gotta
use
be a
it-
catch.
if we can do it quickly, then maybe we'll have a cool item that can help us. So she's gonna start looking around for a needle.
Who wants to try? Because I don't think I trust. Not.
I'll do it.
I can help.
I'll hand you like the magical thread and the scissors and the brooch.
With your
The brooch.
21 previously, Ori, it had been pretty quiet out there, although you notice that the kind of sounds shift and become more deadened. Not like over the course of your rest, when you came here versus being on the Feywild side. It's quieter on the other side, and you haven't really peeked out or done anything to investigate.
Quieter on the other side.
Correct.
All right.
Do we have a needle?
Guidance.
I'm looking around for a needle.
All right, make an investigation.
Guidance to whoever's searching.
So I've been spending
Does
all day
anyone
playing
have
one
a
of those
needle?
point and click things where it's like you get
I have a disguise kit,
can't
but I
reach
don't
something,
think
so you
that's
have to
a
go get the
needle.
tongs,
Oh,
and that's
yeah,
what
yeah,
it's
yeah.
for. So I'm like, we need a needle, but we have to combine this, and this with the needle.
Hold on. I might
Have we finished our
Investigation.
Short rest?
Yes.
Okay.
Anybody can
I
mark up a
cast-
short rest.
Eleven.
locate
We finished the
object.
short rest. Or
Sewing
you
needle.
Are you using a spell slot to find a freaking sewing needle?
Phenomenal.
Yeah. How else? How do you find things?
I didn't.
Just locate object. You can see Alina's really struggling. You're looking through the same pile of ash again and again and again.
And I already looked through it too. So
Yeah, it's a needle and
An
an ash
action.
stack. But you,
Okay,
you as you cast this, almost instantly there is just a little cluster of lights that emerge from the reagent room, and you can see it must have scattered from the body. But there is a sewing kit, the remnants of one, just missing a single spool of thread, navy blue, and a pair of scissors.
I collect like the sewing kits now. We just have a sewing kit, and I hand you the sewing
how
kit.
you click use on the sewing kit, and I'm
You have to give
Actually,
Billy
you
the
click
sewing
it
kit, and then
UI comes up, and you can pull different things in there.
That's why you make the
Animation.
macros. You gotta make your macros.
then Billy says, "I'll give it a shot."
And then you have to watch a video to see
Can
the
I
rest.
can I help?
I think we should.
Her?
How are you going to help?
I'll like hold the fabric taut so that it's easier to sew.
Okay. Are you proficient in sewing tools?
Nope.
Okay. Like a dexterity?
Tina has appropriately pointed out that Cheshire would be perfect for this.
I agree.
Cheshire is not here.
I agree.
But I'm helping you, so advantage, right?
Guidance?
That was why I offered to help. Yeah.
Guidance and advantage.
Yep.
Yeah, it's fine.
Do a good job.
Oh my god.
Quick
How
metagame
long is
question:
this taking?
Is a
'Cause I don't
bard
want- or does-
able
This is
to
taking like,
bardic
well,
himself?
we're going to see how high this is.
Yeah,
That's just
great.
good.
It doesn't take long just to like whip stitch a thing onto another thing.
If you
Dexterity, you
roll,
said?
Okay.
Yeah,
16.
16.
I mean, Kara herself could do it in like 1 second.
It takes 5 minutes.
5 minutes is a lot of time when we've already spent an hour.
And Billy takes a little bit of time to kind of just whip this together. And Billy, as you pull the thread taut and you kind of finish this connection, the thread snaps, but there is a whoosh around you as this item finishes.
Positively?
I think it's a.
As you hold this, you feel the cloak itself for just a moment kind of flap. And for a moment, you really do get the sense that these are like bat wings. The air around it grows a little darker. That's it, yeah.
Yeah, no, but I
We
can already.
found it.
Alina's just gonna like drape it around your shoulders and be
I can
like, "That's
already-
yours."
I can already.
Can we get
Yes.
moving?
Yeah, yeah, okay.
We don't.
Do you
know
keep the sewing kit?
Exactly what's going to be down there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we can guess. I mean, there's probably gonna be enemies down there. We think maybe it's a crypt. They're all definitely sad face.
Don't forget to also write spool of magical thread.
Oh, you gave me the magical thread too.
But also,
Yeah.
we know that it's at the other end of the hallway. It's about
And
200
downstairs,
feet
right?
long.
And
And there are 3 large angry ones that are probably going to be large and angry in opposition to us taking it.
And the staircase might be trapped.
And the staircase might be trapped.
But like, you're good at spotting that stuff.
We are here, and there's one way to go. Unless we.
I'm just
wanna
saying we need
jump
to
out.
be ready, and we have already been here for about over an hour.
Okay, you're right. We definitely need to move on. Lead the way. You're the sneakiest.
Well,
You,
Right.
you are the
I mean, the fact.
sneakiest one.
Okay, Cheshire is the most sneakiest because I literally have no idea where she is, and we're just in one room.
Did someone just
But,
hear that?
You're
oh wait, she's in my pocket.
I did hear a weird chuckle in my dreams. So.
yeah. I kind of hear that a lot.
All right,
She's always with us.
Make a stealth check.
and I'm moving out of this room.
Sure.
21.
21. With the 21, you feel hidden. You've been sneakier, but with this group right at your back in this narrow space, it's hard. You crack the door open and you peer out, and you can see a space that is almost 1-to-1 the same dimensions as that huge armory. It is cold, and as you open the door, it is so cold that it feels like you have like the moisture around your eyes freeze up a little bit. If you have any kind of sweat or oil on your eyelashes, it kind of crystallizes a little bit. As you breathe in, it hurts. You don't take any damage, but you get the sense that spending much longer than an hour here will likely really start taxing your energy levels.
Like, shut the door for a second.
Shuts the fridge.
Did you see something?
What?
It is quite cold.
Like,
Like one were in the basement of the frozen-throated dreadnought.
Probably frozen down there.
We're going to need to bundle up significantly.
Billy pulls
I
out.
hug my cloak tighter.
Billy pulls out the two costumes from her disguise kit, and she's just like, I guess.
So you're just wearing like 3 Party City costumes on top of each other?
It's like you're going through the airport and you don't want to pay for the extra baggage fees.
Just walking through wearing 4 bathing suits, pajamas. Yeah, of course. No worries. So you bundle up as best you can. You get the sense that this is a profound cold and has a magical source. And so you can bundle up, unless you specifically have cold weather gear, probably still going to chill you straight to the bone.
Even if I wear my long johns.
Oh, you're good. You're good.
Did you get them from Kirkland?
Of course.
Hey, Russ.
Yeah.
This, like, extreme magical cold
Yeah.
Stygian?
I mean, probably, yeah.
Okay, I think it's Stygian, you guys. Actually, Rez thinks that. Yeah, no problem.
Feels
but-
good to get credit every now and then.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
No problem.
Okay, it's Stygian stuff. Everybody be extra careful.
I open the door again and continue back out.
Crack it up again. Just as cold as before.
And I remember from the other place exactly where we need to go to get right back to where the heart was, right? If it layout wise, given my
The one in the basement?
Yes.
Yes, of course, yeah.
So I'm just gonna basically stealth beeline it down there, looking out for traps and
Stealth 21.
yes,
Don't forget.
stealth 21.
And if the rest of you are being stealthy, please make stealth checks.
Are we in a wild place?
You are not in a wild.
Aw.
Wild.
Oh, that's turns out it didn't matter. Finally. 21.
Okay.
These are the checks I make when I have shit armor on. 16.
Wait. I'm going to choose to cast Pass Without a Trace because this seems to be a bad time to be not sneaky.
26.
Does that bring me up to a 31?
It does.
31
Yeah,
for me,
that's
too.
very awesome.
18 with the pass, without trace.
With it?
I'm probably not doing too
Tina's screaming in the
much
chat.
I
better.
know, she hates it. I'm so sorry, Tina.
21
shit.
with
The heat
plus.
shield?
Fantastic. Love this. So you all
Oh, that's-
use Pass Without a Trace. You decide that this is the time to
Really
use
good
it.
point.
But here, as you're walking, there is actual frost on the ground, and so it kind of cracks little panes of ice. It's hard to be quiet. And as you pass, your body heat actually causes different items to shift and move as the temperatures swell materials. And it's hard to move in a quiet way here, but you do your best.
Thank you, Tina. Was I have my not cold weather gear, but the heat resistant padding that I have.
Turn it
from
inside
the-
out.
from the volcano. Yeah, does that provide any sort of extra?
No.
Like insulation.
check.
You mean?
No, sure, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes
It
sense.
does.
It was a fantastic idea. It's.
Extra thick,
He said it was wool.
extra thick wool. Yeah, nice wool sweater to help against the frozen dreadlord.
You got your turtleneck.
I light myself on fire. Does that
You're not cold anymore.
If I wanted to cast heat metal, and then we really won't be cold anymore. No, I do not do that.
So you make your way out and into the armory, being as quiet as you can. As you pass places and here, it almost for a moment looks kind of similar to this icicle-like armory on the Feydark, but it's different. There is actual ice frozen over actual items here. There are halberds, there are spears, there are all kinds of things here. You can see there are suits of leather armor, and Billy, you thinking about the kind of armor that you're in, it's not magical or anything, but there are other options available. You can see that there are doors that go off either side, and these do feature, I think many of you speak Elvish, and so you can read these signs. There are no pictograms here. You can see there are things that depict rations, there are things that depict like armor, what is called spider, it's bridlery, but with spider at the front, and I wrote the word and I could pronounce it last night, but I can't say it.
Spideralry?
Yeah, it's hard, but I had it, I practiced it. There are all kinds of little armory kind of settings, but if you follow Ori and you make your way straight across, after about 100 feet of movement, you can see the stairs often in the distance Alina ahead, and the rest of you as you approach, passing these kind of frozen objects, and it does feel like it's getting colder as you move. You can make your way to the stairway.
Quick question.
Sure.
In the Feywild, Minka knocked over one.
You did.
Does there seem to be anything knocked over, or does it seem unaffected?
Minka, as you guys are getting towards the stairway, you look off to your left where you had knocked over and dropped this icicle, and there is just a spear that is just perfectly upright, standing where it was, no effect.
Okay. Worth asking.
Yeah. But you make your way to the stairs. Give me one moment here.
I'm doing this.
Downstairs, you can hear, Ori, as you get to the staircase, the sound, and you, to some degree, expected this, but of tapestries kind of fluttering in the airflow. You remember the room that is down there. There are dozens that hang around the room. You had seen on the Feywild side these kind of metallic, almost spiderweb looking infrastructure that allowed the banners to be moved and slid around. And you can hear them moving off in the distance. You can hear directly below where you are. Make a perception check, Ori.
It's also kind of strange if it's so cold that everything's coated in frost. Why would there be fluttering downstairs unless there's like a temperature difference or something that hasn't frozen those things? Dirty 20.
Dirty 20. So with the dirty 20, you listen hard, and given the distance, you can't quite hear what's happening down in the basement, but you do hear that fluttering. And I would say actually with the 20, you do hear the kind of like flames flickering ever so slightly. But in this cold environment, you imagine mundane flames would likely be quenched. And so for what it's worth, there is probably a magical source of fire. It feels colder here, if anything. And so...
magical source of fire or of the cold?
Make an Arcana check. The cold is almost certainly magical, the intensity of it here. In most of Alberon, there is no real cold environments. The only place where there is like permanent cold is in Dominion's North.
Natural 20.
Hey.
With the natural 20, you recall from your mastery of the arcane.
You can't do magic, but he listened in class.
Perfect recall.
Wait, yeah. You
The dichotomy over here.
you consider what is happening. There are flames that are magical in nature, and they produce no heat, but they can kind of be designated to have very, very specific sort of ways in which they release energy. You've heard scholars talk about some kind of radiating light that is invisible to the eye. Radiation, they call it. And this is something that, though it doesn't provide physical warmth, might be able to be attuned to keep certain things not frozen. Maybe it also provides light. And you look around, Ori, with that natural 20, there's something to what you're thinking about here. Things here where you are right now, kind of frozen in time. You can see like all of these weapons, all this stuff just kind of perfectly as it was. From what you've heard, there's an army outside, and this is all just kind of here. But with that natural 20, make an insight check. I'll just skill check your way to victory here.
Did you get another one?
No, but he rolled. We're rolling hot over here. Why'd I say that?
28.
Sorry, Ori.
Say it like that.
What you are looking at up here, downstairs, you get the sense that there is a mausoleum. What Minka had said about those bodies and everything, that makes perfect sense. And in a place where the dead are stored, and this is an old practice, it's not something that's happened in the Magiocracy ever, but sometimes people will bury the sort of like fallen warriors alongside a fallen leader, and they're supposed to like rise in the afterlife and things like that.
It's like a cairn.
Something like that. And it's like all of this stuff is not just frozen. This is waiting. This is an armory, and it's here for a war, but that war has not yet started. It is like there is something missing. And you think about those bodies and those 3 particular snowmen downstairs, and maybe there is something to those. You wish you knew more about the Underdark and the policies and the kingdoms of this place, but there's something going on. You get the sense that there has been stuff left behind to stay perfectly still. This is more than a mausoleum. This is truly a temple. There are things in this place that have been left to honor the person it was built for. And with that, you get the sense that Zosh Vizier and the Salocyocene are one and the same.
I was hoping that wasn't the case.
Yeah.
But the longer we've been going, the more it seemed like it was more like.
Now that being said, from what you've heard, the Salocyocene far from this place, and so you realize that you are in a place that is very important to them, that has been left behind and untouched likely because it is important to them, and disturbing it or changing things about it may have much longer term ramifications. Perhaps.
We are in a bad situation right now.
We're always in a bad situation.
More information is
We're never in a
required.
good situation.
They're the same.
Yeah, we were just in
and the Salocyocene. They're not working together. They're the same entity.
How do you know?
Sucks.
It's the iconography and the things that we've seen. The stuff here it's being kept on ice to be used.
Because there's a frost demon here. Ice devil here or something.
You're saying that we've been encountering his creations all this time.
The Salocyocene is somewhere else, but we are in the Salocylocene's lair. And anything that we do here now, it will remember us. Not that Hearsome did it. Us as individuals right now, in their keep, stealing their belongings.
I mean, I know you're not wrong.
on the bonus point. Didn't someone at some point mention that they were in like the Allmaker or whatnot? This doesn't seem like the All. Is this the Allmaker?
What's the Allmaker?
I don't know.
Anybody who would like to make a history check?
I don't remember that at all. 12.
God!
Also 12.
22!
17.
God, look at you, studious boy.
I choose not to disclose my role.
It's that one day where I actually went to class at the exact topic.
Was Underdark lineages.
Josh Vizier and the Psilocybin equal the same?
That's 70 sessions worth of notes right there. Okay. So, the highest is a 22?
Yeah.
Okay. So with a 22, as you consider all these different things,
Didn't think I'd be the one to know it.
no, you don't. That's the thing. What skill were you using? Sorry,
History.
history. I would say with a 22, it sounds right, but you get the sense that maybe you heard the name Josh. Does anybody remember where you heard this from?
Allmaker?
The Allmaker?
Sounds like something.
What is the good of all these notes if you can't find the Allmaker?
So the Allmaker is a translation.
Zagaram Allmaker
The
in Deep
Zagaram
Speech.
is Allmaker in Deep Speech, yes. So the Zagaram. 22. The Zagaram is a Deep Speech name and location. That is something that I would say, all that you really know about Deep Speech is that it originates from a plane beyond the material plane, beyond kind of the elemental planes. There is a region of space-time that is known as the outer planes, and that's where Deep Speech comes from. It's old. It predates the planet. It predates the material plane.
Okay, Ori. I'm on a hunt. And
Yes.
I can't stop that hunt. But I understand if
You know, sometimes there are hunts where the quarry is a bit too large. I'm just saying, right now feels like one when we're dealing with something that has the power of outer planar.
Are we directly in front of the mausoleum door?
No, so you're in front of the top of the stairway. So below you, or you can hear these tapestries, and then there's another staircase that you would go down to the mausoleum.
this is my opportunity to get put on, the wild hunt. It's literally the only thing I live for.
It really is.
And
Ori.
so
It's going to be difficult to live long if we become eternal enemies of...
Yeah, that's the point.
I
I'm
don't
just
think
saying,
We're right above the tapestry room.
Yeah.
Minka's gonna look down and can we see into that room at all?
You'd need to go about 10 feet down the stairs to be able to see, but yeah, you can.
If Minka can get around Ori, she's gonna go down, creep down a little bit further and look into the tapestry room. Because when we walked through the Feywild version of it, we thought that the tapestries might have some more things related to Josh Razira on them.
yeah, there was like one
history stuff, maybe.
So downstairs, as you kind of creep past, are you allowing Minka past?
I think we could start sorkening
Yeah.
if we're making...
So you kind of
moves.
argue and whisper hushed tones down the stairway, where it does echo slightly, if that's what you choose to do. Downstairs, Minka, as you kind of lead the way, you can see that there
we'll pause
are
for a second.
these glass orbs. They have delicate nets of filigreed silver chains that hang over them, and the orbs themselves have missing pieces of circular glass, and in the middle there are just floating, flickering flames that cast a dark red glow across this whole room. The ceiling you can see here is a web of blackened metal railings that form 3 concentric rings that are connected by various rods. Along these rods you can see gorgeous tapestries. Beautiful. Unlike anything I would say that you've ever seen, it's almost like they sing into your brain. You can feel it is almost like each thread has its individual voice. Minka, make an Arcana check. The one closest to you, you can see, is a deep ochre color. It displays a drow who stands atop a field of ice that has slain some kind of massive armored being.
17. Somehow.
There are people who have come through the Enclave who have told you, and I think you know enough about the cultures here and about the drow, that you've heard of what is called dream silk. And dream silk is something that is harvested from typically a very particular species of spider. And the silk itself, once cured and properly worked, it has a psychic resonance to it. Being around just the unworked fibers themselves can actually hurt you because it is sort of out of sync. But once it's woven by experts into these kind of tapestries, they sort of hold an element of memory or story to them. They're dangerous to interact with if you are not trained in doing so, but they're incredibly expensive. And to have them typically they signify something important. And in drow culture especially, tapestries commemorate victories or events.
So Minka's gonna pause as soon as she sees all the tapestries and be like, guys, be careful. The tapestries here have memories woven into them. Like, literally.
I go up and touch one.
So these, as you get down the stairs, they're up and up and up. So they're about 40 feet up and on the ceiling, like along the ceiling. There are these ropes that you can kind of grab to move them along the rails. Are you face stepping up and grabbing one?
No, I assume that they were not at 40 feet in the
No,
air.
I mean,
are
it
up
makes
high,
sense
and
they're
it's
up
good.
there because otherwise, if you brush past them,
It's really good because as you get to the bottom level, even in this place, not directly touching them or even really adjacent to them, you can feel, not in your ears, but in your brain beneath them, this kind of static begin. And you get the sense that if you were closer to them, you run the risk of really having some damage happen to your mind. And that might ongoingly happen as you stay in proximity to it. They're hung up there for a reason. But I would say make a perception check, Valis.
To perceive how high you can jump. Are you looking for the ropes to be they come down now?
12.
they wrap it. You gotta really.
With a 12, you see purple banners, gold ones, red, green, you see black, you see a hay-colored banner that shows a huge host of spider-mounted drow, you see a taupe banner. You're not quite sure if it's gray or purple, but it's somewhere in between. And then you can see that there is a navy banner that matches the string that you found. There's one that is burgundy, and then there's that one that you had all seen on the way down, that deep ochre color. And aside from that, that's really all you see. Hard to tell if there's...
What color was the enchanted thread?
Navy. Oh, sorry. No, hang on 1 second.
Oh, it's navy.
Purple.
Wasn't it? Oh.
If any of the banners match the color of that thread, I would like to just kind of focus and stare at that one.
You turn and you turn and you focus and you look, and there is one purple banner that's close. It depicts this drow making contact with a massive spider. You can see truly tremendous, almost taking up more than the tapestry would allow, but the drow's hand goes up and is gently about to rest on this creature's head. You can see the helm of this drow is held in one hand. There was a battle that happened recently, you can tell, but this seems to be a moment, I would say for you especially, Valis, you can tell a moment of peace when you see it. This is not a victory in that way. This is an alliance that happened, and this is something that was very celebrated by the individual depicted. You feel like you know more about it than you probably should, even just knowing that this is a victory of some sort, and not a conquest is something, but that's all that you really get. You look at it, and at the moment it is placed closest to the far door that would lead you off and towards the entrance of this place. There is a ring in the middle where no banners hang, but you can tell that 3 could probably fit.
Billy's just impatiently pacing at the top of the stairs downwards. Are we gonna
As Ori and Alina, are walking, I guess, into the room, Alina's gonna be like, "Why did you say that he's not here? We don't know that. He could be here in this building right now.
The devil is here.
Didn't you just say that the devil is the psilocybin?
No, I said Josh Vizier is the psilocybin.
Oh,
The
right.
devil has allied itself still with the psilocybin.
Telepathically, Rez is just going to say, Zosh Vizier isn't really an infernal name. It's kind of like a lame drow name.
I forgot. Definitely Alina forgot, not Hannah,
No worries.
that those were not the same.
Yeah.
Not Hannah at all. I mean, okay, yeah, you're right.
I'm just saying, we need to really consider what we're down here for, because
Sword.
personally, I don't like making enemies with ancient drow dreadlords.
Ori, I want you to hear me on every level right now. I would rather die than give up my chance to join the Wild Hunt again.
And you might.
Yeah.
Right now.
I think
With all of us.
You don't have to
For-
join. It's okay, I'll understand.
I
At this
think
point.
we're already on their list.
I don't know if you know this about me, but the devil, Josh Vizier, the psilocybin, they are parts of the darkness in the world. My very existence, I am already their enemy. Nothing has changed for me. We are here to find a sword.
Yes, that's. Yes.
And Ori, you don't have to be here if you don't want.
Alina is
wanted
just gonna start moving forward.
If you wanted to
She said her
leave,
bit.
Where are you going towards?
Toward the
Or-
mausoleum.
Okay. So begin to walk down the
mausoleum
stairs.
down?
Billy goes right with you.
if you
Yeah,
wanted
if
to,
we're starting to walk, you can keep saying.
if you wanted to leave, Ori, then we wouldn't hold it against you.
At this point, I'm not leaving. I'm just saying we need to be extra cautious, and we also need to consider what we're actually doing, because I'm not here to join the Wild Hunt or to get a sword. I'm here to help all of you.
And if you recall, Hearsome did say that the psilocybin is our top priority.
Now that makes more sense.
I can't let this keep going on this close to my home.
Right, well, there's going to be at least 3 of them, and they're going to be probably the main targets and focus. We need to get across about a 200 or so foot long hallway with presumably something else that we're not going to be aware of with all of the other bodies. Get the other piece of the heart and try to get back to the main entrance.
Are we at the door yet?
So you go down the stairs, no problem. You make your way towards the
There's a
bottom.
window. She's like,
You can see that there is, very similar to the one that you had seen in the Fade Arc, a room within a room within a room, but here it is badly damaged. It's cold. You can see there is off to the left and off to the right, no snowmen kind of lined up. There is just holes in the wall. Dozens of them. And you can see in places, especially you, Alina, right off to the left and right, close to where you enter, there are a few sort of just like feet that stick up at the very end of them. This is certainly a mausoleum. Would a visual perspective be helpful?
yep. Do the feet have little toe tags on the end of them? Because that's what I was picturing.
I'm picturing ancient Roman catacombs.
Of course you're picturing something from ancient Rome, you
Or,
man.
Actually, I was picturing the Skyrim catacombs.
Yeah, I was just literally saying, like, in my
I didn't want to say
mind,
that, but I said it.
where it is
You had to lean into the stereotype.
Skyrim, always Skyrim.
Ah, I recognize these
Always
pieces of
Skyrim.
cardboard.
Do you want this other?
Tune in for Humblewood if you want to see more of these pieces of cardboard.
It's a pretty nice piece of cardboard.
Yeah,
Who
Vincent-
hand touches the
Vincent,
Vincent
cardboard?
sacrificed some of his.
Some of that's museum.
That's the putty. Yeah.
museum putty. We love
Vincent
museum
sacrificed
putty
some of
too.
his precious good boxes and cut them into
Oh,
pieces.
What is it with peeps and their good boxes?
It's a millennial thing, I've been told.
Interesting.
Oh, I see a corpse.
I see another corpse. There are many corpses.
Oh, that's too many. There's too many corpses.
It's the corpse of the frozen. It's the corpses of the frozen
Sorry.
dead.
Oh boy.
So which is
where are we?
Is this
You are coming. So this is the landing.
Is this the basement mausoleum room?
You are all at the bottom of the landing.
Guys, I have a really bad feeling about the continuing, motif of memory threads.
And
I
you
have a
can
bad
see
feeling about that.
that there is this doorway that opens up, and for what it's worth, all along the left and right hand side of this map, there's just straight up walls that go up and up and up. There is walls in the very end too, where you can see broken and ruined walls. Those are broken and ruined walls, and so you can see at one point this was truly a room within a room. Now it is just a field of ruins, and then this kind of interior chamber where, peeking out, I would say, none of you can see all the way back yet. But Billy, you know that there is a frozen, icy hand, at least in the Feydark, back there.
It's got stairs in real life. Yeah. You can see it in greater detail on our Instagram at Alberon RPG.
We'll take pictures. It's really cool.
That's really
It's like
good.
a hand. Why are we? Okay. Is the door? We're standing in front of a closed door, right?
It's open.
Oh.
There's
So
no closed
even I
doors.
can't
There's
see-
no doorways here. Everything, it looks like a lot of the wood parts of the structure have failed. You see barrels and boxes, and those all look a little bit more contemporary. Most of them. Some of them have crumbled away, and those are probably pretty old.
So even I can't see all the way back with my 120 feet of dark vision.
You can see 120 feet back.
It's 200 feet,
Oh.
roughly.
You can count. Yeah.
No, I'm not checking your math. I just missed that it was 200
Billy
feet.
whispers, Kara doesn't for the mic. I know I lived in a hut in a swamp that was built by hags, but this doesn't seem structurally safe.
You see the stone base of it, Alina, from where the doorway is. You can just see over the ruined walls, over where that corpse lays down on the ground. You can see there is a hand that looks like it was carved out of pure basalt.
Were you raised by hags?
No sign of the bodies or anything, huh?
When you say no sign of the bodies, what do you mean?
Not the bodies, the snowman bodies. There is no
You see the sign of
massive,
bodies.
there are no hordes of snowmen.
There's no hordes of snowmen
and no
or
three
analogous
large,
things.
angry
The hatred
looking.
makes sense now.
Where the snowmen were up all on the lines of walls, you could see that there are these kind of holes where bodies are kind of stored away.
Okay.
I would
So
say
then-
at a quick glance, somewhere close to, it's several dozen of them that are kind of stored along the way here. There are places where they have been removed, and so some lie empty.
Okay.
Alina's gonna turn to Ori and whisper, I really admire about you that you're willing to help your friends, even though it's an absolutely awful situation. And then she's gonna start creeping forward to get a better view.
So are you all creeping towards the end of the room?
I'm gonna just creep forward until I can get a proper good look.
I am 10 feet behind whoever's in front.
Billy is directly behind Alina.
Yeah.
Attack us. Because there were the three large angry things, and
I'm
that
gonna
was
go
a
like
warning.
this way.
And we're not going to be able to just walk right up to it and get it and walk away. There's got to be something here. What I'm sneaking with the group, but looking out for any signs of activity or traps or
Alina, meanwhile, Alina is fired up by her speech about the hunt and possesses a new vigor for it. So I mean, she'll creep forward because
Divine
she's not
sense.
an idiot, but she is not being as cautious as maybe she should.
What is the
be.
range on Divine Sense?
And I'm going to be using it not just once, but probably at different points of our walking journey. But as I stall to pull up my...
So, Alina, as you are moving, it isn't just your speech that has you fired up. Here in this place, especially in this place that is so connected to the hunt proper, you can feel almost like the stems of vines, that there are threads twisting and connecting to things in this place, and you know that something that is incredibly important to this hunt is in the middle at the end of this room. You know, and you could probably close your eyes and follow those threads there. It's something very real. You are perceiving the hunt right now.
Is my tattoo glowing?
Not when you say it like that.
What about my regular tattoo?
Yeah, that's glowing.
It is?
No. It glows when Now you have me confused.
Sorry.
It's a mood tattoo. It only glows when you're sad.
Mood tattoo.
I think it might be a mundane tattoo.
I'll race it. It's
Oh, yes, it absolutely does.
It is, okay.
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it has been since Hearn showed up.
Is it? It's not shedding light or anything in any meaningful
it's
way,
just,
right?
It's
just,
like you look at it, and for the first time that you have seen, it is glowing, and it has been since Hearn.
okay. So you see Elena being like,
Put your boobs away.
60 feet.
60 feet from where you stand right now, there is no. There's one fiend, Rez. There is no undead, nothing like that. You detect nothing. But Alina, the hunt tells you different. It's further than 60 feet. But you get the sense that there is something powerful in the left-hand corner of this room.
like a creature.
Something powerful.
Okay.
Something bad.
Oh, there's something powerful.
Something that is actively going against nature is in that corner.
Okay, well, I want to fuck that shit up, and so Elena's gonna be like, back left corner, that's my quarry. No, sorry, she's gonna say that's our quarry.
What? I thought we were just getting the crystal.
Yeah, we are. What? And she's gonna keep
Okay.
moving forward.
As people continue to move forward, Minka's going to do her best to keep everyone within roughly 30 feet.
Okay.
Just to try to keep as many people in the plus 10 zone as possible.
So, Minka, you're kind of like looking around, kind of trying to stay in the middle of everybody. But as a group, you maintain your pass without a trace and a low stealth of 18, and you make your way to the corner of this ruin.
Yeah.
How long does Divine Sense last?
It's only a second.
Gotcha.
But once
Scooby-Doo sneak. Scooby-Doo sneak.
once I get to probably here, and I'm assuming there is a window here,
Yeah.
I will divine sense here as well.
So you Divine Sense. And off where those 3 gravestones are on the actual encounter map, you can see inside of each one, and those are gravestones on the map, but they're kind of like taller, almost like obelisks in the thing.
Like more memorial.
Yeah, like memorials. It seems like there is undead within all 3.
Gravestones.
I relay that to the group. There are 3 undead underneath those 3 obelisk stones.
Well, good. Let them stay there.
While we
No, they're
walk,
undead.
Well, if they're underneath. But
while
they're
we
undead.
walk into this room, Minka's also going to be thinking about how there's been like a lot of occurrences of like memory threads and like this concept of like threads leaving people places and threads being stolen and like the weave and like she feels like she's like on the cusp putting something together that's not quite there yet but she's trying really hard,
That sounds right.
so she's very distracted.
Okay.
So but like there is something
Make an insight check. Make it a disadvantage because you're really, really digging here.
no,
It's questioning the nature of the universe while we are.
yeah, she's
being
kind of zoning out a
existential
little bit right now.
What is life?
Oh, that's
you, Matt.
actually pretty okay. It was almost really bad, and it wasn't. Cause like
Appreciate it.
that is insight. Alphabet.
Those are
17.
17.
Yeah.
There's definitely something to that.
Yeah.
You get the sense that you're on to something, and you are, as you said, right on the cusp of it.
Yeah. So she's just
Something over here.
Is these like obelisks? Is that the source of the thing that I am feeling drawn to?
You feel that there are powerful, harmful entities in each of those obelisks. But as you get here and you look through that central window, all that you can really bring your eyes to is this huge basalt hand that just rises out of the ground. Because in the middle of it, you can see there is this beating black crystalline heart, the other half of the one that you are missing, or that you have.
There it is.
Who's gonna go get it?
Yes, I am.
Don't touch it with your bare hands.
Yeah, I know. And Billy is going to gently sneak forward.
So who is accompanying Billy to this little field trip?
I am.
Minka, are you?
Do they pass by Minka?
They'll pass
Yeah.
by you. Yeah.
Okay.
They're gonna be going this way.
If they pass by her, then she'll
We
like
could go through the window, right?
notice that they're moving past her and like kind of shuffle forward.
Okay.
You want to go through the windows?
I stay back here with Alina.
I will. Yeah, I'm gonna
No?
stay with my attention trained on where the obelisks are.
Everybody place yourself where you would like to be
Okay.
for
So-
the sneak attempt by Billy, Ori, and Minka.
Well, I would like to be.
For the attempt, I think is what he said.
Yeah. So
He
bless you.
sure did say that.
Put me on the other side of those 3 windows.
On this side?
Yes? Is that where you're going?
This-
You walking through the
We're
windows?
making our way around because
Billy
Billy doesn't want
thinks
to go through the window.
Billy can see what I think Matt cannot, which is that there's a pile of corpses directly on the other side, and we would be
There's a pile
stepping
of
onto
corpses on this side
bodies.
too. We're
But we can
stepping
walk
on
around them. We would have to walk on them.
I will keep
All right.
Billy and Ori 10 feet in front of me, but I will not be directly behind them, but I will keep them as closer.
So Billy's going like this. Where do you want to stop?
both going. We're both going
Attempt. So
around
I
this way.
don't know
We're
wherever
attempting
Joe
to
will let me
go-
stop.
So Billy, Ori, and Minka make stealth checks. The rest of you kind of hold your breath. You watch as the rest of your party makes their way forward.
Why is it always
At a 10,
stealth?
because pass
Oh,
the trace.
that's good.
26 again.
Nice.
That's why I'm
21.
trying to be closer.
Okay.
Hang on. 21.
Oh, okay.
That's pretty good.
We're all above 20.
You make your way over quietly. Minka, you follow at a distance, keeping them within the radius of your magic. Or you get to that stone wall and you kind of position yourself there. And Billy, you begin to make your way across. Your steps are the quietest, and so it's good that you go. Your foot touches the first basalt step. And as it does, it's slippery. So you have to be really careful. But you crawl across, you make your way up. When you get halfway up, you continue up more.
It's like a waiting for someone to either slip and bash their knee.
Yeah.
You can feel this crystal heart beating directly in front of you.
It's not that big in real life.
No, it's same as the other
In
one.
real life.
About this big.
Yes.
Billy.
Don't put the 2 halves together yet, just in case.
Yeah, I know.
Just in case. I don't know
so-
if you know.
I'm the one that told you how it works. So Billy unrolls the satchel like halfway so that there's a layer of fabric in between the 2 pieces,
Okay.
and puts the other piece in like the satchel so that it's like a burrito.
You've definitely packed up bottles to go before. Yes. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no problem. You can do that with no problem. And having done this before, you know not to touch it. You saw how Alina's face changed. You wrap it up in cloth and you tuck this into your bag. No problem. And with them together, it is almost like with the fabric between them, they kind of try to fit together.
Nope.
And with the fabric, they can't, but they want to be one.
Okay.
I was worried that mundane fabric wasn't going to cut it, but we're good.
Billy's fabric is soaked in dirt.
It's like wrestling 2 magnets.
While I'm here, do I see anything of note? Like, I see on the map a treasure chest.
Yeah, make a
right
perception
here,
check.
And, like,
Oh, there's the pile of bodies.
see, the dice giveth, the dice taketh away. I wasted all of it having that flash of knowledge. 16.
16. You see a treasure chest, but it's like pretty old and looks as if it's kind of falling into disrepair. It was here with the room. You can see that there's a number of different boxes and crates. You can see what looks like some kind of a dresser over it in the corner. But you also see that there are a few kind of cubby holes here and there for corpses, most of them in this internal area missing. You do turn around, and behind you there's a pile of corpses that Billy had pointed out, and they seem to be maybe the ones that belonged in those slots. You can see they're old, these corpses, just kind of bone in leather armor. You can see bits of flesh and hair kind of in places, but these are ancient.
But not ones where it seems like parts have been taken or are missing.
Correct.
Okay.
Any movement where the obelisks are? Sorry.
No, go ahead. Yours
Any
is
movement where the obelisks are now that that's done?
So when Billy takes this crystal away, you feel, Billy, that they try to connect, and they can't. And you just got that good dirt on your fabric. You feel pretty good about that. But at the same time, Alina, over and by these kind of stones, there is a crack in the first one. And then in the second and the third. And little bits begin to fall away. And then from the one right in front of you, you can just see a hand burst out. And because it is 8:30, we're going to step away for a quick break. And then we're going to roll for initiative. But thank you for joining us for this session of Courts of Everest. We'll be back in just a little bit. You'll see a timer on your screen. We'll be back when it's done.
Do we have a
When it's
shovel?
done.
When we're done.
I do.
And we're back. Thank you for sticking with us.
Fastest hands in the east or the west.
The determination with which you did that. It was off screen for all of you, but
Her hand
Kara
is
just
like,
one-handed
shut
fly.
forward.
It's great. Thank you for sticking with us through the break if you did. If not, we're playing D&D and you're joining us.
I also
It was
develop
like-
apps for androids in my spare time.
If you've ever seen that episode of Happy Days where Chachi was introduced, his whole thing was he was going for the Guinness World Record of the fastest fly catching. Or I'm losing it. Go for it.
So, when we left off, you had seized the right ventricle of Zosh Vizier's heart. You had put it into the bag with the other one. Billy, you felt them almost tug towards each other, but unable to combine through the fabric. And then on the other side of the room, Alina, you saw the stone begin to crumble on these three monuments. And then as the closest one crumbled away, a skeletal hand burst from within, and that is where we pick up. Can everybody please roll for initiative? Because it should be using something a little more
Perfect.
suitable.
Push the hand back into the ground.
Just slowly. No.
I'm telling you, we get trouble.
Under natural 20.
Oh, so far from
I
that.
actually did just
Hey, look at
Nice.
that. Another natural 20 for you. We have
You
Laura
are
starting us
ready.
off. 25 to 20. 20 to 15.
Rez has a 18.
Oh, rough. Okay. Res up at the top there, the 18.
Yeah.
15 to 10.
Oh no, sorry, 19.
19.
12.
12.
So Billy and then Valis, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Okay. And then 10
What's
to
your guess?
10 to 5.
Non-existent.
8.
7.
Minka, and then a 7 for Alina.
I'm zoning out in the middle.
Just you're concentrating so hard on Pass Without a Trace. So the way that this works out is actually quite nice. Or you are starting us off. Then the 3 will go, followed by Rez, followed by Billy, then Valis, then Minka, and then at the very end, Alina. So, Ori,
Are you hiding?
from where you
hiding.
are, you
I'm not
hear
hiding.
stone crack and crumble, and then a jettison of debris fly out as that hand erupts. What are you doing?
Do I see it from where I am?
No, there's a wall between you and those creatures.
I'm gonna sneak 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm still sneaking, right?
Okay.
I'm gonna get up to the barricade wall here, and then now can I take a shot from over this wall?
Yeah, so you rush up to the wall, and then
Like,
from where it is,
see
there's kind of a
what's
crack
there.
between the barricade and the stone, and so you can put the crossbow there, and you can fire if you want. Do you have dark
what-
vision?
Yes.
Okay, so you can see all 3 of these creatures. They're just emerging from the stone. They don't benefit from any cover from it. It's crumbling around them, so they're just standing out in the open for right now.
Over here.
You stage whisper and fire. Make your attack roll.
Do I have advantage because sneak and also...
You do have advantage, yes.
Are they fully out of...
You do have advantage, yes. It is still advantage.
Shoot their hand. That's a... 20-something.
Tina says Cheshire effects on initiative 0.
28.
28. Okay, so with the 28, you hit. Go ahead and roll for damage.
Sure.
That's gonna be... 27 points of magical piercing.
Very nice. 27 points of magical piercing. That does the full amount that you would expect it to. This skeleton that you fire into, the one closest to the corner, you can see wearing the least amount of armor, not that there's any vitals to protect, but easily penetrates, goes straight through, and then clatters out the other side. Does full amount of damage.
Skelly boys.
And then I'm gonna
Certainly.
bonus action hide
Okay. Gotta make
behind
yourself
the
check.
wall again.
After that whisper of, they're here, you just kind of duck into the corner.
You still
Dirty
have a plus 10.
Dirty 20.
Oh, dirty 30.
Hey, much quieter. Okay, that is your turn, Ori. That brings us to the 3. So, the crossbow bolt just right out the other side. there is this just barely audible turns. And looking over, Valis and Alina are right there. So the first creature in a row reaches down to its side and plucks what looks at first just to be like this weird sort of rope, but as they pull it up, it kind of animates and forms the shape or the outline of a horn, and they bring it up to their lips, even though there is none, and they blow, and all that comes out of their mouth is this but there is a in the cold air, and you feel like the other two seem to be bolstered in some way. And then they are going to turn and lumber, although quicker than you would expect now. 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Okay. And then they're going to dash.
They're so quick.
They are so quick.
Look at them go.
But that is all that they can do on their turn. And that brings us to Billy. But what I will say is, for you, Valis, and for you, Alina, you can see the one that is closest to you, Alina, they look as if they have no armor from the waist up. It is just bones and little bits of like desiccated flesh that hang off. You can see it looks as if they have these two kind of bits of rope that hang off their belt. The one that is coming near you, Valis, you can see this is the only one that is heavily armored. You can see they wear half plate. It is in a intricate drow design, and you can see the string that kind of hangs by their side glows red. And that seems ominous to you. But that is their turn. That brings us to Rez, and then Billy is on deck. Sorry for that, Rez. Where's Rez going?
Sorry. Oh, he's.
Oh, yeah, right.
He's not doing anything.
Himself. He's like, Alina, what do I do?
I thought you were joking. I'm sorry.
No. But that brings us to Billy, and then Valis, you're on deck.
Billy, once more, too far away to do the swordy sword thing. From her position on top of creepy basalt slippery hand, is going to pew pew at the one that she can she see that? Where's the? This is 60 feet, yes?
Yeah, and it.
She can see it.
Is 100.
Can I?
Oh, can see. Sorry.
Eldritch Blast.
Go ahead, make your attack roll.
We blasted.
And are you attacking the one that is attacking Alina?
Yes.
Okay.
Pew pew.
Oh, not bad. So the lowest one is a dirty 20.
The dirty 20 hits.
Yay! I only have the 1d10 out because I'm not getting ready.
This skeletal creature, as bare-chested as you can literally be, no flesh, no bone, it's just bone across, but...
That's disturbing. 21 points of force damage.
21 points of force damage. That howls in towards them and seems to do the full amount that you would expect. The bones kind of rattle, and that gives you a sense that the magical force damage doesn't seem to do anything, but hitting this with something more on the bludgeoning side might. Anything else, Billy?
Billy kind of like calls to Alina, like in the stage whisper, you know, just like kick him. And that's Billy giving Bardic inspiration.
Bardic advice from Billy. And anything else, Billy?
Nope.
Alrighty, that is your turn. Are you moving anywhere from up there? Or?
No, it's going to be a bonus action for Billy to move from there.
Nice. That is your turn. That brings us to Valis. Minka, you're on deck.
All right.
That's a spell.
Let's see. Valis is going to grab one of the beads from the necklace and bring out the fucking sun.
Hell yeah. You grab onto this little stone, and as you crush it in your palm and then open it up, there is just the of sunlight as sunbeam is cast.
So this one got blasted. Did this one get shot with a arrow?
The one that is furthest away is the only one that has not been hit.
Gotcha. All right.
Or sorry, I got that wrong. The one that is closest to you, Valis, is the one that has not been hit yet.
All right. I will hit these two with the sunbeam.
Okay. So
And
you kind of roll
also
off to your right, and then you yank the sunbeam along. You can see where the edge of the wall is. It just protects that far skeleton from getting hit by it, but you absolutely can catch the other two in that. And that is a dex save?
No, that is a Constitution saving throw. And the DC is 15.
So one actually got a 28.
And undead has disadvantage on the saving throw.
Yeah.
Are these undead?
These are undead. So really good, because one of them rolled really well. So for that first one, so that went from a 28 to a 12.
Failure.
Almost a complete swing. The other
Swinging.
one would have been a 17. Is that a success?
It would have been a failure.
Okay, so then that's a failure already.
No, sorry. That would have been a success.
And then higher on the second one. So the one that is next to Alina is able to pass on their save. They have no armor, but it seems as if they might be a bit more constitute just naturally. How much damage is that?
Great question, Joe. I want to tell you that you had 28. 28 radiant damage to the one that failed. Half of that, so 14 to the one that passed. And also, can these be blinded?
You get the sense as you pull it across and they continue to just stare straight into the sun that probably not.
Alright, they would have been blinded, but they can't be. So, alright, so that's that. Does the radiant damage seem to do any...
It sure does. As you pull it across these creatures, it is like it catches. And though the regular flames would die down in the cold, these radiant flames burn bright. And it catches across the skeletons, and you can feel and hear the bones begin to pop with the heat. Though there's one of them that is starting to look a little hurt. Anything else?
Yeah. Can I want to take the attack action.
Okay.
Can I... So you can use it to shove. Can you shove, like... Can I use it to shove Alina?
Yeah.
And would it provoke attack of opportunities if it would?
So, yes, technically.
Okay, never mind then.
The way that I would rule that, though, so, like, yes, it could. I don't think that it would, given the fact that these are like... And so this is not mechanical. This is flavor. These are undead creatures. They're not reacting super fast. You could probably do it in this instance and be okay, but most of the time, yes. Forced movement in D&D does provoke attacks of opportunity. And I know that only because in Starfinder it doesn't.
Okay. I am going to just pull, like, push Alina to the side.
Okay.
Do you want to contest that? Or do you want to just...
Well, if you just shot sunlight in front of me,
Yeah.
I'm already, so you can just pull me further.
Yeah, already on one hoof, you just shove Alina, and Alina, you have to clop back just a step.
I'll step in place and I'll attack the one that is in front of me with my second attack.
Go for it.
So that will be a natural 20.
Natural
bang,
20.
boom.
Very nice.
Woo!
However,
And-
the creature that is holding this horn-shaped piece of string is going to blow it. And could you re-roll that dice?
Oh my god. Oh my god. Alright, so that will be... I'm devastated. 18.
18. That just barely hits.
Hey, still hit.
A hit is a hit.
Let's see.
That would have been
It's not a
devastating, though.
I'm still devastated. I will not smite it. So I will just do the 7 magical slashing.
Okay, just 7 points of magical slashing.
Yep.
Is the full amount that you would expect. Anything else, Valis?
No, I'm done.
All right. That, as you carve across, you can see there are bones, nothing important, just ribs and like an element of like a part of some kind of like hip bone maybe that just kind of slide out. They're taking bad damage here, but they are still up. That is your turn, Valis. That brings us to Minka.
Okay, so is that a pile of corpses next to Ori's feet?
It is.
Okay, so I was gonna stand there, but considering it's just a pile of corpses, I've decided to not stand there.
There's a little room.
Yeah, there's a
There's a
spot
little room.
next
You
to
can
the...
sneak in.
But you'll be very close to the pile of corpses.
I will be very close to the pile of corpses, and I tend to glow, so I feel like that's gonna harsh Ori's vibe. So
You don't want to just outline Ori and
You just
glowing
swing around the
illuminated
corner.
light?
Like around here?
I mean, it's a
I can
plus
go 35.
10.
1, 2, 3,
So-
4, 5, 6.
Yep. Okay, that's fine. I can see that guy. Yes.
Straight ahead?
Yep.
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to use my bonus action to channel the archer.
Okay.
So I choose to glow. And with that, that is not my. Oopsies. That was not on the acetate. That was not on the acetate. Okay. I'm going to hit
It
the
is now forever marked.
forever marked. I was like, that was not the correct texture for acetate. gonna shoot him with an arrow and probably miss. 16.
Who are you targeting?
The one to the side of Alice.
The one that Valis was initially in front of,
Yeah.
they are wearing half plate, and that just kind of bounces. You can see the radiant energy. They shy away from it. They're almost frightened of it, but it does not hit.
Okay, so that was my bonus action. And I'm too far from most other things, and I believe casting that is also a bonus. It is also a bonus. So, I will instead use my action to look around the rest of the room and see if anything else is like animating or changing.
Make a perception check.
Terrible. That is 13.
Nothing.
Okay.
That is your turn, Minka. That brings us to you, Alina, and then the top of the order where Ori will start us off. Alina, what do you want to do?
I was like, thank you. And then let's see. Can I shoot an Eldritch Blast, like, pat through Vincent? Like, sorry, not through Vincent. through
Channel through
the
Vincent.
friendly character.
You absolutely can, yeah.
Okay. So for flavor, it like zings over your shoulder.
Is this like a wave thing where you go like this, and then I do this, and then boom, it comes out?
Sure.
Love that.
I recommend just not rolling a 1.
Yeah.
It's like you know that from experience.
A 22 and a 28.
Both of those hit.
Okay, that is 20 points of force damage and 4 bludgeoning.
Okay. That slams into them, and that 4 does more than you would expect it to. You can see they are like rattled by that. Their bones kind of within the armor itself. The horn that they are playing falters ever so slightly. But anything else?
Yeah, out loud she's gonna be like, bludgeon them, in case Valis has anything bludgeony.
Okay.
And to Rez, she is going to say, get in there, buddy, help out Billy, and if Billy's not doing an attack, then Valis next.
All right, it looks like I'm going to attack. I'm going to help Valis.
Yeah.
But that is your turn. That brings us to the top of the round and to Ori. Ori, from where you are in your hidden perch with a 30 stealth, what are you doing?
So this is the one that was still making its way up.
Correct, yes.
Cheshire has requested sparkly effects on initiative
right.
0.
Also, we got a wheel from
Okay.
earlier.
Okay.
It's a very loud sparkles, though.
Yeah.
All caps sparkles with an exclamation point. Oh my gosh, if the word sparkles.
Okay, so this one I'm gonna make a sneak attack on, and then I'm gonna bonus action make a perception check to spot any hidden creatures or objects.
Okay.
Because these are presumably the three or the things that were represented by the 3 angry snowmen. So where are the other mobs, and are they just the bodies in the tombs?
Sure.
Or are there going to be other things? That's a 27 to hit.
27 hits.
And that's gonna be 10. Math, man.
It's really hard.
Yeah, I know.
22
Math
points of
man
magical
is-
piercing.
Very nice.
Bastard.
And the perception check is
Sure not.
a 17.
17. You look around and you can see there are bodies in many of these cubbies. There are bodies on the ground. They're all over. And so those snowmen kind of scattered all across this room. Anything else?
That's it.
All right, that brings us to the 3. And so with the creature that has just been punctured by Ori's arrow, it has to pull this kind of rope that flickers and becomes rope just for one more moment before it kind of back into this horn shape, and it brings it up to its skeletal lips and it blows. And though there is no way that this could produce sound, there is a that rolls through here. And Ori, could you roll a d4 for me, please?
On the bard.
Oh shit! I was gonna. forgot to move around. I was gonna give him flanking.
1.
Nice.
I was
I don't like
so
Nice.
busy
For- There
you
not
go.
wanting to forget to tell Rez
For-
what to do that I forgot it was.
For us, right?
With the horn.
Yeah.
He's getting little dudes.
The one that I can't see.
Which is the horn one? The one in front of me?
There's the extra.
This one.
That one. Okay.
There they
Sorry about
are.
yeah.
I found the snowman, guys.
As the horn blows, suddenly, now, Minka, with your perception check from
Yeah.
the last round, you hear as voices return to the long dead, and 2 of these creatures stagger up to their feet. I'm just going to say, to the initiative
glowing.
count, they're actually going to go in at initiative 5. They're not super fast, but that is his action. The other 2, there's one that is
Excuse.
based on Valis. So Valis,
Yes, that's me.
First-
I'm Valis.
one of them turns to you and they pull this rope from their side and they swing it towards you as one might a mace or a sword. Valis does a 28 hit.
Whoa.
Yeah, that hits.
So they slam this into you, and you expect it just to be a wimpy little string, and it moves like a string, but as it touches you, it is like a warhammer strikes you dead in the thigh, and you take only 5 points of bludgeoning damage. But can you make a wisdom saving throw, please?
Don't like those type of saving throws. Let's see. Ooh. All right.
Do you benefit from your own plus?
I do, but it's not gonna be good at 9.
You take 10 points of necrotic damage as there is an additional, and you feel Valis, the polar opposite of a smite, as it just strikes into you and kind of ripples down. But they pull this string back, and then the other one off and to your right reaches down and they throw a skeletal fist towards you, and it accelerates very quickly, and then they throw 2 more.
The one that's right next to me.
Yes.
Okay.
Valis does a 14 hit,
Miss.
does a 17 hit,
Miss.
and then does a 23 hit.
Hits.
Okay. Valis, you are only taking 9 points of bludgeoning damage, but can you make a constitution saving throw, please?
Like 19 on the die.
A
24.
24. As they hit you, you can feel for a moment they strike you right below where your armor goes down over your belly, and they hit you right in the kidney, and you freeze up. It's like your body threatens to drop, but you fight through the pain. You are not stunned on the next round.
Oh,
You
good.
are
I don't like
fine.
being stunned.
But that is all that the 3 of them
Right.
can do.
Did I take any damage from that?
You don't. Oh, sorry. No, that's just on top of the 2.
Oh, my
How much
squiggly
damage is
sploosh.
that?
9 points of damage.
Ah, thank you.
Skelemunk. Skelebard. Skelemunk. Skeleton.
Kind of crouch behind the remnants of that
Skeleton.
monolith.
My concentration holds.
And that is all that they are going to do. That brings us to Rez's turn. Rez goes, Valis, I got you! And big leathery wings bring the potato-like body of Rez the Imp over to your side. And where you are, suddenly you can see, though Rez is invisible, this skeleton begins to kind of buckle around wildly as Rez pokes and prods. But that is him taking the help action, and that brings us to Billy. Valis, you're on deck.
All right. Seeing that there is a bard among us, Billy is going to hex the bard.
Okay.
And we're gonna
This guy?
do
You can see its head. As it hides behind this, you just see like the top of the shining crown of the skull, and so you were able to cast Hex on that. You can see suddenly the shadows just across it and almost tug it down.
Perfect. Headshots do more damage.
and we're gonna do. Let's do charisma,
Okay.
and then some pew-pews. Ooh, not as nice. The lowest one is a 16.
16 is a hit.
Sweet, they both hit. Let's go with one heavy die and one light die, because I can't find my other little metal mini die. Ooh, they hit each other. So that's 14, 7, 20, 21.
21.
Points of magical force
You had a
damage.
stroke for a
I
second.
kind of did.
Really, the hex wraps around this creature's skull, and as you see that, there's just a moment where the hex begins to ripple down and down and down, and there's just a point of white. It's almost like a bullseye, and that's where you target. And as the second one hits, it splits the skull directly in half. And from all of you down this kind of corridor, you can hear the bone pop as it splits, and the head just falls in two. The string just falls limp, and they are off the map.
Well, cool. That was. There's also an extra necrotic damage that just like. There's like a little like smoky skull.
I'll say, sweet bone dust. You get the sense that necrotic damage probably wouldn't have done much.
Probably not.
But no worries, you have destroyed the
It actually
cornicea.
comes back up for
The what?
8 health.
The cornicea.
Okay.
That is your turn, Billy.
Si, senor.
Alrighty. Valis, what would you like to do? Minka, you're on deck.
Alright, I'm going to...
Throw one of those on you too.
I think Billy's position is precarious at best.
I'm gonna attack this guy.
Okay, you stand toe to toe with one of these skeletal creatures.
I have advantage from the
Help action.
help action, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I still may miss. 13?
With a 13, that is a miss. And they're going to use their reaction. They are going to try to riposte. Valis does a 17 hit.
It misses.
So as you miss, they parry it with this glowing red strand of rope, and they swing back at you. You can pull the shield up to block it in time. Especially with Sunbeam active, there is just woof, woof, all over the place. You hear Rez just go, "Whoa, Valis!" But no problem. Anything else?
Second attack.
Yeah.
I will also... I'm in a shoving mood today. I'm gonna try to shove this guy.
Go for it.
Alright, so isn't it posted athletics, right?
Yep.
Let's see. 17.
16. And so you shove them, and you can see the boots plant into the ground. There is a moment where they don't move, but then you are able to just push them.
Alright, I push him here, and
Okay.
for what it's worth... You gonna say something?
Attack of opportunity.
From Rez? Yep.
Sorry. But go ahead for what it's worth.
Attack of opportunity.
Was that the goal?
Yeah. No, that wasn't the goal, but
Thanks,
it's
fellas.
a nice bonus. Yeah.
He gets a 16.
16 is a miss, unfortunately.
Yeah.
As you shove this individual, you are just unable to hit. Valis, you can hear Rez just go, "Hey, I'm supposed to be helping you!" But no problem. Anything else?
Yeah. The main reason why I did that is just so I can not get attacked from him when I do this. I walk over here and then I sunbeam them both.
Okay, very nice.
So DC 15 Constitution saving throw from the two of them.
They are both going to fail.
Nice. That will be 27 radiant damage,
27 radiant damage.
and they are unable to be blinded. But
The one who is that you just shoved, as they turn around, you hear Rez go, "Hey, I'm supposed to be helping you." You turn the sunbeam over, and they just are evaporated by it. Armor hits the ground, and Rez goes, "Yeah, like that." But
This
no
one?
problem. The other one, it takes the full amount of damage and then more. You can see it is more effective than you would hope, and it is still up.
wow. I'm done.
All right, you are done. That is your turn, Valis. This creature, as you pull the sunbeam down, you can see there is just blackened bone and armor. They are up, but they are badly hurt. That is your turn. That brings us to Minka. Alina, you're on deck.
All right, so seeing that, or hearing that creatures have stood up around me, just gonna turn around and shoot the one behind her with a radiant arrow.
Okay.
Does a dirty 20 hit?
A dirty 20 absolutely hits.
Awesome. I'm gonna shoot it. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Keep you. Okay. That is. That is 8. 19, plus 5, right? You'd think I'd have, yes. 18 points of radiant damage.
So suddenly you can hear bones rattle, and as you turn, you hear the gasp of life, and you just release an arrow, and right through the throat, it goes and falls dead. as that does more damage than you would expect, and you absolutely just kill it with one shot.
And then Minka's gonna move right behind that barrel pillar. Yeah.
Okay.
Still in a glowy state. And with my action. Sorry, I'm seeing how far away everyone is from me.
Yeah.
See that she's a little bit too far to like see.
Roughly about 15 to...
Okay. She's gonna look towards the entrance. And then just see if anyone's coming down the stairs or if she could hear anything coming from that direction as we cause commotion down here on that floor.
Make a perception
Sees
check.
everything within a 6 foot radius.
Still terrible. Another 13.
13, nothing. Alone.
God.
That is your turn, Minka?
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Keep going forwards.
As you get further away and you kind of hide behind this pillar, you are suddenly very quiet and very much alone in this space. But that brings us to Alina.
All right. It's pew pewing time.
Hey.
Yeah. I will just pew pew at the one in front of Alice.
Okay.
That's gonna be a 19 and a 25.
Both of those are hits.
Um, 19 points of force damage and 4 bludgeoning.
Alina, tell us how it happens.
Oh, so there is. Yeah, it's fine. I knock his helmet clean off. Is he wearing a helmet?
He is now.
The figure is wearing one, so I like prestidigitate a helmet and then I knock it off.
No problem. The helmet just kind of shoves on. It's too small, and that cracks the bridge of the nose off already. The skull begins to slide, and then your follow-up Eldritch Blast just destroys the head. The helmet kind of keeps it all together, and that's nice for him, but he is gone. And you can see the one that is behind you just crumbles back down into bones, which scatter across the floor. And you are all out of initiative. Choose the music for you.
Definitely thought you said cheese the music.
I'm just gonna cheese some music for you. I don't know what that means, but behold,
But you're doing it.
Science-scape.
I'd like to investigate. Sorry, something you want to do?
Yeah, like, how'd that feel hunt-wise? Am I?
Pretty good. You feel your heart racing, but the hunt's not over. This was just an interruption along the way. This is an impediment to your path. These were things that were wrong. They had already fallen to the tests of time, and something had brought them back.
Like an appetizer hunt. The hunt before you hunt, the real hunt.
But you
So-
sent them back to where
You
they're
pre-gamed
supposed
it.
to be.
Alina's gonna just kind of wander back toward the door, like, she's not leaving, but she is, it's like the physical equivalent of, like, jangling your keys when you're ready to
Yeah,
go.
sure.
I like to investigate the strings that they had.
Make a perception or make an investigation check. Or actually, sorry. You can keep that roll. You can have that be an
Good, 'cause it's a
investigation
good
check
roll.
to really like look at them. Or if you're trying to learn something about them magically, you can make an arcana check.
Wait, there was
Oh,
a victory screech from
23 for Arcana to figure out if they are still magical and I can, like, if there's any value in me taking them.
Okay. So looking at these, they look almost mundane. It looks like whatever magic was kind of infused into them originated from these creatures. With that check, what was it? It was
23.
Arcana?
Mm-hmm.
Something about these creatures is not whole. These are representations of something. These are stand-ins for whatever they really are. Likely, as you look at the one with the glowing red string, now just mundane. You look at one bare-chested, save just like armor around the legs. You saw the final one with this horn. That's probably important. There are probably very powerful figures that are very similar to that somewhere else, accompanying the celestial scene. In fact, I think you had heard about individuals that had been within that structure.
When you say that structure, what do you mean?
The jail.
The Halls of Creation, the Allmaker, the
Zagarim.
Zagara.
Were there any depictions in the tapestry? Now that, like, I'm thinking back to, were there any tapestries that had, like, a guy with a horn, a bare-chested guy, and an armor guy?
With your perception check, you saw a lot of colors, and you saw a lot of drow, and you saw a few spiders, but you hadn't seen anything directly linking to that. You hadn't taken a super good look, though.
Sounds good.
Yeah. You all now have both ventricles of Zosh Vizier.
Billy, not wanting to fall down the stairs and accidentally combine the halves, uses Misty Step to get down.
Gets down in
You
style.
just appear. For what it's worth, when you hit the ground, little
Not
tiny bits of
concentrating anymore.
ice just fly past you as that mist instantly just becomes ice and falls. But you make that spell no problem.
What instantly becomes ice and falls?
The mist of Misty Step.
Oh.
It's cold here.
Are we?
Are we ready?
Yeah, please, I would like to get out of here.
Making my way back,
It's cold
but
in the
as
hole.
Billy's face stepping
In the hole
down, Misty
house.
stepping down, I do want to just take a quick peek at like what's like. I see a bookshelf over there.
Yeah.
Can I?
You can't see it.
read-
There's also like another bookshelf here and like some type
can
of
I, like,
sarcophagus
get a
over
quick
here.
glimpse of any?
Make a perception
of
check.
the-
It's dark. You need a pretty good one, but if you want to get closer, you could just read them.
If you need light, my hand is glowing right now.
I
Mink is
also
still
I
glowing.
have dark vision up to 60
He points
feet.
Sunbeam over at you.
I sunbeam
Ori
here.
is no more.
Eyes.
Evaporate all the bush.
I guess I'll come check out. Is this? I'm gonna check the treasure chest out actually instead. Books are for nerds.
Sure. What are you doing with the treasure chest?
Is it just like a mundane chest? Is there a lock on it? Is there?
So you
Like
go
any
up to this
magical
chest. You can see it is made out of dark stone, which is pretty unusual. You can see there is a metal lock that is built into the stone itself. You would imagine that it's probably locked. It isn't in great shape, though. I mean, you can see that there are cracks in the top and the sides. With a good investigation check, you probably just peek right in.
I will do so.
Okay.
That's cocked. That's 11.
Looks empty.
Must be empty. Old drow shit. All right, let's
Can I do
go.
one more
Alina's
thing
like-
before
Back
we
it
leave?
up.
Can I do one more thing before we leave?
Yeah.
I just want to go over here and look at the obelisk. Is there any writing on them?
So yeah,
Or
sure. You go
depiction.
over and you can see the bases of each obelisk still intact. And actually, Valis, as you watch, you see the stones. At first, you think they're scattering on bits of ice, but really, it's that they slowly are rolling back towards the obelisks, and they're building themselves back up. And so, even if the bases hadn't been destroyed, you would likely be able to read them. But give me just 1 second here.
Don't like that.
Forming.
Sorry,
Oh.
the obelisks themselves are reforming, or
Correct.
the bone? Okay.
The bones seem to be still for now. You can see the first one all the way in the back reads Legatus Quiara G Widow Wonder. The middle one says Tessarius Ventrigal Gastweb. And then the final one is Cornicen Emalia Vast Azuntria. As it's spelled. As it sounds.
All right. If I recall correctly, Tesaria was the one with the horn,
Yeah.
right? Legaris, was that the one with the bare chest or the armor?
Goddess.
The Legatus is the one with the armor.
Widow Wonder.
Okay.
Widow
Can you
Wonder is
like
the last name.
put the spelling of those somewhere?
Yeah, I can put them in the chat.
Dear God, please.
Goddess Queer.
Well, so they're-
Ruji Widow Wonder.
For the notes.
I still have Sunbeam going.
Yeah.
We all just are ducking out of
I
the way, like,
Sunbeam
please.
the obelisk in a line.
Okay. You
'Cause
take
I
the
don't like
sunbeam
what's going on
and
here.
you evaporate the rock. You blow it into sand. And at the end of it, if you use the full sunbeam for this, there is not a trace of obelisk left. And using that radiant energy seems to have stunted this growth because as you pause and the light kind of flickers out, you don't see any moving sand or dust, not even across the ice. It is just ash.
Just
Probably a good job.
Singed their whiskers.
I'm done here.
All right, let's go. And Alina, out the door.
Stop.
As you all turn and leave, what you do notice as you are exiting and going up the stairs now, there is carved in stone in Elvish, although this is the Winter Court variant of Elvish. It reads, "The Crawling Legion's 3rd Legion rests here." And then it has the numbers 52, and then a slash, and then 55.
Oh, I don't like that.
Crawling Legion. That sounds familiar.
Yeah, it
That
does. You'd heard of them recently as they patrol elements of the Underdark. I believe somebody back in the Enclave had actually mentioned that the Crawling Legions are the military arm of the Drow that exists nearby.
You said 52/55?
52/55, yeah.
Currently active and ready for duty.
oh,
Walk up the stairs.
okay. So as we walk up the stairs, I will tell the group like what I read, the 3 names, and describe them again, like the graves they got out of, and say that I think they might be representation of who they are, but they're still somewhere, possibly with the Psilocybin, and
Are the strings like parts of a soul?
hold on, let me finish. And one last thing, I think 52 out of 55, maybe these 3 are the last members of the Crawling Legion. What were you saying?
Nothing. Thinking.
You can see Ori on one side, Minka on the other, both thinking very similar thoughts, but just away from each other.
Billy just like, sword.
You make your way back up to
One
the
word.
main floor, and you can feel the periphery of your thoughts and your perception get a little fuzzy as those different banners come back into view. But they're there, and you can see they kind of flutter here and there in the light that is cast from these glass orbs with these magical flames within, which are held in these nets of filigreed chains. And you can see there is a door on the other side of this long room, although that door is shut.
Does anyone see a representation of the 3 people we just fought in any of these tapestries?
We can do that after we fight the devil. Or pick the lock.
I take a moment to look at the tapestries.
Okay.
It's so
Is
Are you trying to pick the
this
lock?
door in the same spot as where that, like, the darkness that we couldn't pass through in the Feywild was?
No, but it would lead you to the kind of entry chamber with that snowstorm, and that was where that door was.
Okay, so
you're
we're
very
headed in that
close.
direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, you mentioned earlier that the center thing looks like it has 3 missing pieces.
Correct. Are you going to pick the lock, Ori?
We have the parts, right?
Yes.
This is not the door the parts is for.
Oh,
That's to pick the lock.
You can see on the far side there is just not a mundane door. It's still a metal and stone door. It's very heavy. It's like a military garrison door, but it's shut and locked. And that seems to be like a key lock, not like a heart lock.
And that's the one that we have to get to get to the main room. Then?
Correct.
We have to get through that to get to the door to the main room.
Yeah. 'Cause
And
it goes out
Billy's
to
just
the
like,
main atrium.
it's bardic intensity because Billy's just staring at you like,
So make your lock picking check.
I think between the two of us, the energy is real intense right now.
Concentric black metal circles, and the center one
You're, like,
has
trying to
3
be
individual kind of railings that form the inner circle, and each one is sized to house a tapestry. So you imagine 3 could hang at once on there. At the moment, they're all in the exterior circle, and so there is nothing. But you can see somehow, because these tapestries are on these metal rings that go along the rails, it seems like they maybe can like jump along the rails. Kind of hard to see how that would work. But yeah, you were looking at the tapestries, Valis?
Yeah, I'm just looking at the tapestries while he goes to pick the lock.
With a little bit more time, as Ori kind of crosses the space, you can see there is one that depicts a drow making contact with a spider that you had seen. There is a golden banner, and this one shows a drow that is destroying what looks like a star or sun. You can see there is a red banner that shows a drow beheading an ogre. This ogre has a bright pink mohawk, but their blood is like drowning a band of dirty goblins beneath them. You can see a whole bunch of different things, but the drow figure in each is almost identical. You don't see any other figures. There are other drow, but they are depicted with masks and everything, and they look almost like a standard soldier. The only real individual is this drow that is at the center of each tapestry.
Is that Josh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I,
Just walk there. It's Zosh. It's Xosh.
Oh, I've been typing in
Tina also reminds
Zosh
there's
Vizier.
3 missing.
3 of the tapestries?
Yeah. But Josh.
Yeah, Minga at this point would walk up next to Valis and be like, I guess it's all Josh, right?
that makes sense.
If you're looking for things that hint at imagery of things that you've seen in your adventures, you do see a black banner that shows this Josh, who is standing atop a mountain of treasure, and there are just weeping goblins all behind them. The goblins do bear similarities to some of the ones that you have seen in the service of the Celestial, although in this banner, they just look regular goblins. You don't see any kind of weird crystals coming out of their skin. There are no individual extra body parts coming off of them. I would say, given what you've heard, you do see a navy banner that depicts this drow opening a dark book. Its pages seem to be depicted as in movement and opening, and there is a frozen gauntlet that seems to be emerging from the pages, seeming to reach towards this drow's throat.
Oh,
And that is what you would see. That is kind of similar to things that you've seen recently, but nothing that would look like the 3 figures you just fought. What was your check?
I haven't rolled it yet because I want to make sure that I'm not going to pick a lock that's going to get me killed.
Make an investigation check.
God, fucking 8. It's fine.
It's a clean lock.
Looks good to me. Fucking Billy, I'm cold too. Fuck it.
So as you describe this,
Yeah.
it sounds almost, it's either A,
That's better.
3 tapestries
You
are
also
missing, or B, this is one of those like
Oh, you did?
9 square puzzles, but 1 square is missing, and you're like shuffling them to like form an image. You know the type of puzzle I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Does this seem like it could be that?
sure could be.
I say to the group, does this look like it's a puzzle and we're supposed to slide the banners or tapestries around?
I don't care if it's a puzzle. Can you unlock the thing, please?
What was your check, Ori?
28.
A 28. Valis, as you're looking at it and you're trying to visualize what might go before anything else can move, because these rings don't seem to be able to move, you hear down the far side of this room as Ori picks the lock.
All right.
Very fortunately, it was trap-free,
Good thing.
and you can open the door if you wish.
poopily investigated.
While Ori finishes picking the lock, Meg's gonna look at the tapestries, and you said ogres, goblins, spiders.
Spiders.
Any signs of either like star elves or the dragon, little dragon, kobolds. I'm like the Lord.
Tridents?
You do see
Three-toed
a
sloth.
burgundy tapestry that depicts this drow individual plunging the sword into a huge reptilian eye set into red skin, but not
dragon.
clear what that is.
Maybe dragon.
No kobolds, though. You don't see any star elves, although, again, you do see what looks like them plunging a sword through what looks like a sun or star.
Billy, since the door is unlocked and open now, has begun to start moving forward.
You crack the door open.
Yeah,
For what it's worth, Mika, can you make a history check, though, while you're kind of looking at all
opened
these?
the door.
The joke is
10.
enshrined in the database now.
Yeah,
So,
not terribly.
for a second, as you look at there's history here, and there's history that you know. And as you focus on it, you hear the lock pick, and then the door swing open as Billy peeks it in, and all of you hear or feel in your teeth and in your brain this chittering. It is like thousands of voices just just out of audible range, and it grates on your nerves. And on the inside of this door, you can see much lower there are silk banners. Actually, these you could touch. And there are stray threads that kind of come down here and there, and you hear like little scissors snip thread, and you can see there are drow figures. Would a visual perspective be helpful?
Yeah.
Wait, of the tapestry room? Damn it!
I mean, it's us.
The room.
Yeah.
Other room.
Well, you're out of the worst
ourselves.
tapestry room.
Into the other
I'm trying to
tapestry
remember
room.
what. Is this in front of us? What with the room with the
Snowstorm.
That we couldn't see very well into. Like something was obscuring. And, you know, there's like always those like things of like the threads of fate and people manipulating fate. And
the room we thought was the scrying room is what I was gonna say.
that's across the hall.
That's across the hall from here.
This is like the
We're in
central
like the
entry
lobby.
room.
That door's
I
locked
see.
and not opened.
Oh, I see.
Do you have your drawing of the map that you made last week?
That was a great drawing.
We are at a seemingly T intersection, which is actually a 4-way intersection. Just happens to have a 3-way stop at the intersection in the form of 3 locked doors.
I think it was in the black one.
I mean, I'm pretty sure the map that Joe is getting will also help clarify our.
Well, no,
physical-
he has a map of the entire building. Oh, no, you're right. Yep.
Ooh,
Look at
tapestries.
Yeah, there it is.
Actual tapestries.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And
Almost like
snow.
they're making stuff.
So we're here, right? No, here.
No.
Uh-oh, I don't know where we are.
There's that hallway
we
that's in
came-
between those two.
Yeah, so we came. Yeah, we're in this zone.
Yeah, I basically
Just
there's
unlock
there's
the
a
door.
door at the line at the end of
I
the.
misplaced my ice crystals, but
Yeah.
Are
Yeah,
we
so
coming
they're
this
clustered.
way
We're
Coming
or
from
this way?
downstairs.
Ice crystal description.
Gotcha. Okay, thank you. Sorry.
the ice crystals are clustered around where the snow is right there, obviously.
Here.
And so that is where that opaque black ice was.
Ooh.
It seems to be
here.
right now a metal door, and in the center of that door, even from here, you can see a big hole that is shaped like a large anatomical heart.
So we are here?
Those?
You are coming in from the left-hand door all the way over
there.
there.
Okay.
Oh shit.
As a note,
Nice.
I didn't drop my form, so I'm still glowing.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Very
So-
good to know.
Yeah,
I'm real
I
glad
just
that
kept
we didn't
glowing.
have to go through
Are we
this
still-
random red blizzardy place.
Are we still Pass Without Trace?
Yep, I'm still concentrating on that, but I'm also actively glowing.
Are we sneaking as we go through?
Technically, yes. But
I
hang on.
have just picked the lock
Yeah.
and just cracked the door.
You
Yeah,
can see
Billy
a
is like
long room.
over Ori's shoulder, like.
All right.
Long room.
You can see a long room full of silk banners that are woven from this dream silk, which can influence. Minka, you already have kind of talked a little bit about what it can do. You can see that there are individuals that kind of snip these little bits of fabric and seem to be tending to several damaged tapestries. Each of these individuals, you see a human, a drow, you actually might even see like what look like elves here, but all of them have what look like a sort of mask attached to them that is attached to a long leather apron like garment with pockets that hold these little elements, spools of this dream silk within. And as they work, you can see it kind of automatically pulls elements out and they attend to these little tapestries. In this space, even from that distance, you get the sense that should you get 10 feet further, you may start taking damage from these tapestries. It is bad what it can do, and you get the sense that that damage, while very real and will hurt your HP, will likely also influence your ability to think in a very real way.
Minuses to the int score.
All right.
Bad times. This is the bad times room.
Yep.
Ori, as you crack the door open, you can see there is a drow that is just right off to your right. Can everybody make a stealth check, please, as you open the door? This is with Pass Without a Trace, but this is to account for the fact that Minka is also glowing.
So, not a wild space.
It is not a wild space.
Not bad anyway.
So we get the pass without trace 10.
Correct.
So that's 29.
28.
23.
Okay.
19.
Did you roll a 1? Dude!
For a total of...
Dice give and the dice take it. For a total of dirty 20.
A dirty 20.
Plus 19 to stealth?
Well, plus the 10.
Oh.
In this moment, you can hear everything in this room just stop. All the little snippings, all the little elements. And it's like as one, the heads of all these individuals just turn to track towards this room. And or you get the sense that you're not very hidden anymore. So it is 9:30. We could either end half an hour early, or this would probably run pretty late.
I'm shooting
So
the one
it's
at the
really
door.
up to all of you.
I'm okay with staying, but
I'm okay with getting further. How is the rest of you?
you have to work tomorrow.
I do have to work tomorrow.
You have to work tomorrow. So why don't we call it for tonight? This
Yeah,
is
I'd
what
rather
we're
have
going to
Tina
end for
here
the
anyway.
evening.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so just so everybody can see, this is the battle cam. You will be able to see in greater detail at Albron.
She's also shouting, and early!
So yes, we'll end early. Tina, we're excited to have you back next week. Thank you for sticking with us through this session of Courts of Everest. As I just said, we'll be back next week. But if you can't wait that long, we're on YouTube at Albron RPG. There is close to 500 sessions of role-playing, so you can absolutely get your fix there. There are all kinds of different games and continuities and eras and different things that you can check out. So at Albron RPG. But please stay safe. It is crazy out there. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.